Hello, guys. Welcome to Boxing Blog Center, the home of Nigerian and African boxing. And please, if you're new to this channel, make sure you click the like and, of course, the subscribe button right now. Listen, guys, David Haye is a prophet. I know he's gotten some predictions wrong in the past, but the guy knows what he's talking about right now. And when I read this article right here, I was so much impressed. And everything he stated are kind of true, you know? It's just like what he's saying resonates with the few people like us, with the Nigerians and some other real boxing fans that believe in the power, in the winning mentality of Anthony Joshua. A lot of people don't believe in. Even experts, like I watched this show of Mas Kellerman. Mas Kellerman, he's a guy who is very knowledgeable. You know, who you can call an expert, you can call a boxing guru. You know, he's been in the game for ages. But the thing is that the guy just underestimated Anthony Joshua. Not only him, a lot of the boxing gurus are not even thinking Joshua wins this fight or Joshua has a chance. And this will play into Joshua's advantage. They don't know this. But anyway, let's take a look at, let's read the article from David Haye. And I'm going to definitely let our brother give their take on it. We have some brothers in the house. We have Mayo Joe. As of now, we have Mayo Joe in the house. We have Marcus Morrison again in the house. He's going to be giving a stake. If you like, you can use Pidgin or English. Like, yeah, be no more Nigerian African boxing. We dare, can't we? We dare get it back. You understand? Let's take a look at it, guys. So, as you can definitely see right here, sure. David Haye conducted an interview with express.co.uk, where he stated, of course, that people underestimating Anthony Joshua are gonna be surprised, are gonna be like put to shame. And I kind of subscribe to that in a way. Let me put my glass. All right, and I kind of subscribe to that. So let's read it right here and let our brother comment. David Haye said, I quote, "A lot of people are making Tyson Fury the favorite after his amazing performance against Deontay Wilder in Las Vegas," he told Express Sport. "A fight I thought was one of the best heavyweight contests I've ever seen. I didn't know that Fury could fight the way he did, and I think he shocked Deontay Wilder. I rate Deontay Wilder. I still do. But Fury made him look very, very ordinary. He made him look even more ordinary than his previous fights that went that good, and those guys went the distance." David Haye speaking fast right here. So for him to go out there and dominate shows that he's got a lot in his locker. But I think that fight has stopped people believing in Anthony Joshua. Of the strength of the amazing victory, they are written off Anthony Joshua and write him off at your peril. Anthony Joshua has been working very hard behind the scenes, whilst Fury has been celebrating his amazing victory. A lot of people see him, Fury, as the world number one, as he's just beaten the WBC champion. Fury, I don't believe he believes he has to raise anything. I think he just thinks he's better. He just thinks he turns up and is just going to beat up Anthony Joshua. And I don't believe that's the case. David Haye is dropping gospel right here. I just think he's the perfect time for Anthony Joshua. Everyone is writing him off. He's going to be the underdog. Of course, an underdog, but even being the underdog, I think will happen. It didn't help him how everyone was saying how easy the fight with Ruiz was going to be. I think that worked against him. This time, everybody is going to doubt him. He's got nothing to lose. He's going to go out there with not many people believing is going to win. He's going to go out there and prove everybody wrong, and he's going to show the world what he's all about. Experts have written him off, but he's a very special boxer. A very special boxer, and someone who I don't believe has shown everything he's got. I believe there is so much in the locker. He's proving as a fighter, and he's got better every time I've seen him, and I just believe it's the perfect time for him to show what he's really got. Oh my God, I love it, Vietnamese. Haye also helped launch the Black Mask Company last year with sports stars such as Lewis Hamilton wearing them, and the former British boxing supposed to open up on the background to his business venture. Okay, that's Haye speaking about his business venture and all the stuff. So now we're going to definitely talk about it right now. Yeah, my brother, Mao Joe. And Mao Joe.
Yes, brother.
What do you make of David Haye's statement, brother?
I think one of the things that I respect about David Haye is the fact that the guy, he has not wavered at all in his belief. He's been saying this for the longest time. I think that since the announcement of this fight was made last year, when Fury came out to say that the contract has been signed, David Haye has been very consistent in saying that Anthony Joshua has all the tools to defeat Tyson Fury. Now you need to remember as well that although David Haye has not shared the ring with Tyson Fury, but they were going to have a fight. I think it was about 6-7 years ago, before David Haye pulled out. Now, you know, when you've had like personal interaction with people, you are able to actually, in a way, kind of depict the energy you get from those people. David Haye has had personal interaction with, obviously, Tyson Fury. He's had personal interaction with Anthony Joshua. And besides the personal interaction, I'm sure as well that he might have seen them, say in the gym training before. And, the guy has just been very consistent. There is something that David Haye has seen. He has seen something, or he is seeing something that other people are not seeing. And he has, he kept saying it. He's been saying it. And he continues to say that the world will be shocked. Fair enough. He's got a few predictions wrong in the past. But in all honesty, who hasn't? I remember when Joshua fought Ruiz the first time and Joshua was beaten. All the so-called experts, all the so-called journalists, all the so-called ex-boxers and legends, I remember they all came out saying, don't go back in there, take a couple of tune-up fights, build your confidence and build your skill level before you going back there with Ruiz. All of them. I remember George Foreman, I remember all of them, including Max Kellerman, all of them. They were all saying, don't go back in there. He's gonna beat you again. You haven't got no boxing skills. You need to rebuild yourself, blah, 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 blah. I remember it was only 2 years ago. But Anthony Joshua, being a man that he is, he believed in himself. He believed in his team. He was like, I'm not going to listen to what you all are saying. If I go back in there and Andy Ruiz beats me again, it is my responsibility. It's not your responsibility. You're not going to be in the ring with me. You're not going to be the one that will get battered. I'll be the one that will get battered. That is if Andy Ruiz beats me again. So he went back in there and he proved everybody, all of them, he proved them wrong. All of them. The so-called experts, the so-called journalists, the so-called legends of the sport. He proved them wrong. Now, this is another phase where everyone is saying Tyson Fury is going to win, Tyson Fury is going to beat him, and all of these things. But David Haye, a man who knows the sport, a man who was a champion, heavyweight champion, cruiserweight and heavyweight champion, I believe that he knows a thing or two. He knows what he's talking about. And I respect him. And also remember that David Haye, he actually works a lot for BT Sports. So he's not even biased. If anything, David Haye really should be supporting Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury is on that side of the street. But David Haye is not bowing to that. It's like, this is what I believe. This is what I've seen. I'm seeing a guy in Anthony Joshua who keeps improving. I'm seeing a guy who is so hungry. I'm seeing a guy who believes in himself. I'm seeing a guy who, against all odds, 2 years ago, when everyone said, don't go back in there with Ruiz, take a couple of tune-up fights, take another 4 fights, another 5, rebuild your confidence. David Haye is saying, I'm seeing a guy who, against all of those odds, he went back in there and he did a job on Ruiz. Not just a job, he literally took Ruiz back to school. He took Ruiz back to the amateurs and taught him what boxing is all about. It wasn't even a close fight. It was a landslide victory. It was a disgrace. And don't be surprised, BBC and everyone in the chat, everyone listening to this broadcast right now, don't be surprised. I'm not saying this is for sure. I am just saying, do not be surprised if Tyson Fury gets battered or disgraced when they eventually get to meet in the ring. Don't be too surprised, because you see, what people don't also understand is that Tyson Fury is a guy who, he tends to perform well when he's the underdog. He tends to perform well. And I will give you some proofs, right? The first time he fought McDonald's, all right, he was the overwhelming favorite. But how was his performance in that fight? Let's be honest. He got a gift. He got a gift of a decision. He got a complete gift. He was beaten. He was beaten in that fight. He lost that fight because he was the overwhelming favorite. But going back into the fight, I think his odds went down a little bit. And because of that, he was able to perform. Now, let's look at Klitschko fight. Nobody gave Tyson Fury a chance. He went in there and did a job on Klitschko. Although we all know what happened after that. He refused Klitschko the rematch and all of that. Then he came back to fight Deontay Wilder. He was also everybody was saying he was going to get knocked out. So, and what did he do? He came, had a draw, and in the second fight, everybody was still saying he will get knocked out. And because of that, he was motivated and he went in there and beat Deontay Wilder. So that proves to me, and look at when he fought Otto Walling, for an example. He was the overwhelming favorite. And because of that, what happened? If to be honest, Otto Walling beat him, because that fight should have been called off. That is the truth. If it wasn't Tyson Fury, that fight would have been called off. But what happened anyway? He beat Otto Walling to a decision. So he always performs well when he's when he is not the favorite. He needs that motivation. He needs something. He likes to prove the world wrong. I'm talking about Tyson Fury now. Okay? But right now, everybody is so high on Tyson Fury. Everybody's gassed. And I'm thinking, let's look at his resume. In all honesty, why is everyone so gassed about him? Why is everyone so high? Like, even if you watch that Deontay Wilder rematch, the second fight, Fury himself was getting tired. From around the 5th round, he was getting tired. But he used his, boxing skills. He used his weight. He used everything he's got against Deontay Wilder, and he beat Wilder. And Wilder himself was completely out of it anyway that night. He was out of it. And I am still saying that, and I'm still convinced that if it was Anthony Joshua in there with Deontay Wilder in that second fight, and Wilder was that tired, and Wilder didn't have his legs on him, Joshua would have knocked him out. Tyson Fury still couldn't knock Wilder out. Despite, you could see, Wilder was not, from the second to the third round, Wilder was out of it. He wasn't in that match anymore, in that fight. He wasn't in there. But even with all of that, Tyson Fury could not knock him out. So Wilder went the third round, the fourth round, the fifth round, the sixth round, and then the seventh round. Trust me, if that was Dillian White, if that was Anthony Joshua, with the way Wilder was that night, trust me, he would have been knocked out cold. So when I put all that together, and when I consider his performance against Klitschko, I'm really looking at him. I'm really being critical and be like, can this guy really, is he really going to beat Anthony Joshua? Anthony Joshua has fought better oppositions. He's actually fought tougher guys. When you compare his opposition, the people he's fought, the people he shared the ring with, the experience he's had, championship experience, compared his experience to Tyson Fury's experience, bro, I won't be too surprised if that match becomes more like a walkover for Anthony Joshua. I'm not saying that is exactly what is going to happen. I'm not saying for sure I know that is what's going to happen. I'm just saying don't be too surprised, because right now, the same way everybody was saying, don't go back in there with Ruiz, blah, 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 you're going to get beaten. They started saying that the same things again. And they're telling Anthony Joshua, don't go in there. No, they're telling Anthony Joshua right now, Tyson Fury is going to beat you, blah, blah, blah. But I'm saying that don't be surprised if Anthony Joshua just literally steamrolls Tyson Fury. Don't be too surprised. And just lastly, before I let the other brothers speak, right, I still don't understand why people underrate Anthony Joshua so much. I don't get it. A guy who became an heavyweight champion in his 17th fight, a guy who had very limited amateur background, a guy who unified his 18th or his 19th fight, a guy who has defended his titles many, many times, a guy who was knocked out or who lost a fight against Andy Ruiz, who had a really bad night and came back in the next fight against the same guy that beat him, and he went in there and did a job on the guy. A guy who showed his improvement, massive improvement in the fight against Pulev. You're turning around to tell me still that this guy is still not a good fighter? You're still telling me that this guy doesn't have the tools to beat Tyson Fury? I think that something is really, really, really wrong here. I think that Joshua is going to surprise the world. And I'm happy, actually. I'm actually happy that Joshua is the underdog. You know why? Because the pressure is not on Anthony Joshua. Just imagine everybody saying, "Oh, Joshua is gonna wipe him. The pressure will be on him. He will be under immense pressure." But right now, the pressure is not on Joshua at all, because everyone is writing him off. So that should be a ginger for Anthony Joshua to go in there and do a job on Tyson Fury. And I would say as well that this is going to be the first time that Tyson Fury has been in there with a real boxer and a real fighter, because his fight against Klitschko, it was just pure boxing. His fight against Wilder, we all know Wilder is not really a boxer. He's more of like a puncher or a fighter. But Anthony Joshua is a boxer. And I've been saying it, that his boxing skills even is really, really underrated. That day is going to shock everyone. I concur with David A, and I respect the guy for sticking with his opinion. And he's been saying it, and he keeps saying it, and I respect him for that. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, brother. Stay on for sure. Marcus Morrison, are you with us? Marcus Morrison, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
What's your quick take on this, brother?
Yeah, first and foremost, let me say kudos to Mayo. Yes, the guy is a very nice guy, and he's highlighting it to the best of our knowledge. And I also say thank you all for your time, to spare this time to be together for this kind of analysis. Yes, according to what Mr. Mayo has spoken about, he has spoken so well, based on the fact that Tyson Fury's team, they all are thinking that he's going to dog Anthony Joshua out. Let's look at this. Anthony Joshua has been a fighter for a very long time, and he has been fighting tougher men. Yes, he fought Dillian White. At the 7th round, he beat him. He fought with Klitschko. That of Klitschko really surprises me. I never expected that he was going to win. So at the 11th round, he put Klitschko into shame. Okay, let's come to Andy Ruiz. When you check the first fight, according to Joshua, he said he had a lucky punch, which every one of us knew about. The punch. So let me firstly analyze this issue between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. When you check the first fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, if you can check it closely, you will see that Tyson Fury was afraid, was not that confident in the first fight, when the first fight came to draw, before he went for the second fight. Now, because of the cheating and all, what he did to Deontay Wilder, he should never think of it that he's going to do it to Anthony Joshua, because we all knew his secret now. So he's going to come in checked up, the gloves, everything. So he has to prepare himself, because Anthony Joshua has been in the field training strongly. I love Anthony Joshua for one thing. He is so confident, and he believes in nobody but himself. He believes that he's going to dog out Tyson Fury. If you watch the fight between Otto Williams or whatever,
Otto Wallen.
Otto Wale, good. If not that, if it was Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury was supposed to go down. But the guy was now getting tired, and based on the height and everything, he now went ahead and beat him. Okay, that's good. I like him for that. But he shouldn't think, his fans to think. I know why they are doing this, because he's a black man. They never expected a black man to be on that top. But I believe strongly, with confidence, 101% that Anthony Joshua is going to defeat him. Yes, because people that knew him, that have seen his secret training, they believe that that guy has packaged a lot of weapons that he's going to use against Tyson Fury, and he's going to beat him, and he's going to surprise the world. You see the second fight between Anthony Joshua and you used to call him the chameleon, Andy Ruiz. That is the reason why Tyson Fury went and invites what's his name, Ruiz, to come and leak out the secret. The secret worked for him for the first fight, but the second fight didn't work. Anthony schooled him. He told him, I am the landlord. And really, he went into the ring and did his best. And his best performance was like 101%. Everybody hailed him. He never went for knockout. He just said, let's fight, let's do it and see who is the man here. So, my people, you people shouldn't be afraid. I have the full confidence for Anthony Joshua. He's going to do the undo on that day. I'm waiting for that day to come. Let not all be panicked nor be afraid about it. He knows what he's doing. He's the one that is going to be there, not the fans of Tyson Fury. On that day, they can only push him, but on that day, when he's getting into the ring, they will leave him. He's going to be there him and him alone. So I pray for him to get his weapon, but he's not going to be that strong nor that talented. You see, Anthony Joshua has been calling these two people out for fight, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. And he was trying his best possible to make sure he dodged out of that fight. But because of the too much talk, he knew that if he went out, people are going to blame him. So he has to try his best possible. So the trick is going to package. They will not work on that day. What he needs to do, he just has to try his best possible to see what he can do. But it's not that fight. I am seeing Anthony Joshua winning. If you see the fight between Anthony Joshua and Klitschko at the 11th round, he was dubbed. So Anthony Joshua is a one kind of trickish fighter. If you have been watching his fights, you will see he wants to lose himself for you to be free that he's going to be defeated. But before you will know it, he will get you. That's Tony for you. That's Tony for you.
Thanks, brother. I do appreciate it. By the way, breaking news right here. Andrews Jr. has given his personal ranking of the top 5 heavyweights in the universe ahead of his fight with Chris Arreola on May 1st. So I'm gonna let our brother Maojo come in once I read it out. So these you guys are looking at the list right now, okay? And the original has Tyson Fury as number 1, Joshua at number 2, himself at number 3, Deontay Wilder at number 4, and Chris Arreola at number 5. So was not just last week here and original picked Anthony Joshua to beat Tyson Fury and said Joshua is the first, is the best heavyweight as of now. He has more belts and all the stuff. And after that meeting, the guy switched stands. Anyway, my Joe, what do you make of this list right here? Fury number 1, Joshua number 2, and Rudy number 3, Wilder number 4, Krishna number 5. Bro, this is mad.
The one that's actually making me laugh, seriously, the one that is really making me laugh is Chris Arreola at number 5. Jesus, what is he smoking? What is this guy's on? And the reasons are something, man. Anyway, I can in a way understand his reasoning behind it. And I'll tell you why. I don't agree with it in any way whatsoever. I totally disagree with that list. I think that list should be Anthony Joshua as number 1, Tyson Fury as number 2, Dillian White as number 3, Deontay Wilder as number 4, and he can put himself there as number 5. But that's what he's said that this is his own list. Where did he get Chris Arreola from? Is it because he's fighting Chris Arreola next month? The guy is very funny. Anyway, for me, you see, one thing with Andy Ruiz is that he is not a guy who... I'm not sure if I can actually say that Andy Ruiz is a consistent guy. He is not consistent in any way whatsoever. He changes his mind all the time. Just because he met Tyson Fury and all of this, he's gassed right now. He's really gassed. He's talking about Tyson Fury being number 1, which is okay. It's all right. If you want to put Tyson Fury as number 1, that's your choice. That's okay. But I'm sure that next week, when Andy Ruiz is around Canelo again in the gym, he's going to turn around again and say, oh no, Anthony Joshua is the number 1. Andy Ruiz is not a guy, to me, he doesn't come across as a guy who has the self-confidence or self-belief. I think that Andy Ruiz is a guy who just goes by the weather, he just goes by what the weather is saying, And when he's around the likes of Canelo and the team, because they support Joshua, he's going to say, yes, Joshua is the best. And then when it's around Tyson Fury, he says Tyson Fury is the best. But in all honesty, he's allowed to have his opinion. That is his own opinion. It's a bit funny to me, especially with Chris Arreola. Chris Arreola should not even be in the list of the first 50 heavyweights in the world right now. The guy who retired over 2 years ago. It's just a joke. An absolute joke, I call that. But it is what it is, you know. Like I said before, that I'm really looking forward. I think that the world is going to be in for a big shock because everyone is gas on Tyson Fury. Everyone is high on Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury is going to need something to motivate him. Tyson Fury is going to need something to build a kind of anger or something that would make him the underdog, you know, for him to actually be able to compete properly against Anthony Joshua. People are also forgetting that when Anthony Joshua was a complete novice, an amateur who just started boxing, you know, he shared the ring with Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury himself came out to say that, listen, this guy is not a joke. This guy was beating me up, you know. There's a guy who didn't have no experience. Let's see what happens whenever this fight happens. So, but as regards that list, Andy Ruiz is just being a chameleon, you know. We know him to be a chameleon. And he's just being true to what we know him to be. Cheers, guys.
Before you go, bro, before we Vamura here, okay.
Yes,
Talking about Tyson Fury, David Haye did say, if you recollect, he said that he made Deontay Wilder look ordinary. Okay. Now he said that Fury is jubilating and celebrating and other stuff. Do you think, hand on heart, Fury believes that he beats Joshua, like that Joshua is easy work? Do you really, like, hand on heart, do you believe? Because what is coming from what we are hearing from his trainer, Sugar Hill, recently have been different from what he said in the past. In the past, he said, "Whoa, Joshua is gonna get knocked out and get beaten up, and you know the same thing we did to what I was doing to Joshua." But now he's saying, "Listen, he's a tough guy to beat." So, do you really believe that Fury is looking at Joshua as a meal, an easy meal?
Bro, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Obviously, I'm not in his mind, in Tyson Fury's mind. But from outside looking in, Tyson Fury does not believe that in any way whatsoever. Tyson Fury knows that this is going to be his toughest fight yet. He knows that. Tyson Fury doesn't believe that nonsense. He absolutely doesn't believe it. But you know what, though? I really hope and I just pray that he really believes it. Because if he believes all he's been saying, trust me, that fight is not even going to go 5 rounds. Because he's going to come in there overconfident. He's going to come in there cocky. He's going to come in there thinking he's going to just walk over Anthony Joshua like he did Wilder. And if he tries that, he's going to get knocked out in a brutal way, because people don't remember this, or people don't often say this, or people want to ignore the fact that Anthony Joshua is faster on the inside, way faster than Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is not fast on the inside at all. He's not quick. Tyson Fury is very quick with his quick jabs, you know, double jab, triple jabs, and all of that. Fight you on the outside, you know, and then run around the ring a little bit more and jab, and run. But on the inside, Anthony Joshua, the only person right now that I can see in the heavyweight division that I can say is faster than Anthony Joshua on the inside is Andy Ruiz. I'm telling you the truth. But other than Andy Ruiz, because he's really got fast hands, really, really fast hands. Other than that, nobody in the heavyweight division right now is faster than Anthony Joshua on the inside. So if Tyson Fury ever thinks, look at Tyson Fury, when he's on the inside, right, he doesn't even really throw combinations. Like, he's just throwing one punch at a time. That's the truth. Go back and watch the Deontay Wilder fight, the second fight. He's not that great on the inside. I'm telling you, I think Fury is much better on the outside. On the inside, he's not that great. So on the inside, if he thinks he's going to be able to use his weight on Anthony Joshua, he's going to get, you know, them uppercuts. He's going to get brutally knocked out. Brutally. I don't believe that Tyson Fury believes that he's gonna walk over Anthony Joshua, but I wish and I pray that he truly believes it, because if he truly believes it, he's gonna get spacked out, man. I'm telling you, he's gonna get knocked out in a very cold manner.
Very interesting take from you, brother. And sadly, I must agree with you, because you are definitely right in your assessment. Now, Fury not being good on the inside. Do you think Fury we want to trade with Joshua? Do you think Fury say, okay, since I'm not going on the inside, Joshua is going inside. Let me just make this a zigzag fight. Do you think he would try that?
Bro, what I want you to look at right now, right? Before I even answer that question, look at how Tyson Fury is looking right now. How is he looking to you? Lean, slim, losing a lot of weight. Okay? And if you follow Tyson Fury on any of his social media platforms, Tyson Fury is doing lots of cardios. He's running every day. Tyson Fury is building his cardio. You know why? Because Tyson Fury wants to have a boxing match like he did Klitschko. That's
why do you think that? Why do you think that? So why do you think that? He stopped Deontay Wilder, in his last fight. So why does he need to?
He stopped Deontay Wilder in the last fight because he realized that Deontay Wilder cannot fight on a back foot. That if you close down the guy and you take his right hand away from him, he does not have any more weapon. And Tyson Fury, being a guy who doesn't really, his punches are heavy, because obviously as an heavyweight your punch must be heavy, but he knows that he's not the heaviest puncher. So what did he do? He developed a strategy. I'm going to put on a whole load of weight. I'm going to come in very heavy. I'm going to put my weight on Deontay Wilder. I'm going to push him back and I'm going to maul him, because I know, remember the first fight, when he got knocked down and he got up, he took the fight to Deontay Wilder and he won the rest of that round. So he realized that, hold on a minute, why am I running away from this guy, Deontay Wilder? This guy can't really fight on the back foot. If I put on loads of weight, if I make the fight very, very rough, take away his right hand, I'm probably going to knock him out. And he was confident, he was saying it. I'm going to knock this guy out. The next time I fight him, I'm going to knock him out, because he's seen it. He's been in there. He's done it in that 12th round. So the second fight was a continuation of the first fight. So the second fight, round 1, I would say was actually round 13. A continuation. So what he did was he just continued what he discovered in the 12th round of the first fight. Okay? But with Anthony Joshua, he has sparred with Joshua before when Joshua was a novice. And he knows, and he has watched numerous fights of Anthony Joshua. He knows that this guy is a good boxer. He can fight on the back foot. He can come forward. Mid-range is good. His jabs has improved a lot. The way he fought Andy Ruiz in the second fight, he actually showed that he is a good boxer. Okay? So he knows all this. He knows that Anthony Joshua is not your one-trick pony. Anthony Joshua is not only relying on his uppercuts. Anthony Joshua throws uppercuts with his right hand and his left hand. His left hook is his most dangerous weapon. Tell me, as Fury been in there with anyone who has that dangerous left hook like Anthony Joshua? He has not. He has not been in there with anyone who has such. Anthony Joshua's left hook is dangerous. I think, for me personally, I think that Anthony Joshua's left hook is probably his best weapon, because if he catches you with that left hook, you're gone. So you want to tell me that Tyson Fury is going to approach that fight the same way he approached Wilder's second fight? Absolutely no chance. And he knows it. And that is the reason why you look at him. You can see the strategy already. The strategy is there. The guy is coming in lighter than he did against Deontay Wilder round 2. The second fight against Deontay Wilder. He's coming in really, really light. Look at how slim and how lean he's looking. He's building his cardio. He's doing a lot of cardiovascular exercises right now because he's trying to improve his stamina to have a boxing match to go up to round 12 in this fight. I don't think it will bring the fight to Anthony Joshua. If anything, right, I would say that round 11, round 12, if Joshua is tired, then he might try to take the fight to him. But round 1, going into round 7, 8, he's not going to try it because he knows that if I walk into any of these guys' punches, if I walk into this left hook, if I walk into this straight right, if I walk into any of the uppercuts, be it the right hand or the left hand, that will be good night for me. And even if Anthony Joshua knocks him down and he gets up, we all know who is the best finisher in the heavyweight division right now. Tell me who that is. Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua gets him down, Anthony Joshua is going to finish him. It's not going to be like, oh, he gets down from being knocked down. He gets up from being knocked down and he's going to bring the fight to Anthony
Well, Fury
Joshua
has been knocked down twice, though. Like, he knocked down twice. He got knocked down twice by Deontay Wilder and still got up and fight. Do you think he might not? Do you think he might also do that against Anthony Joshua?
Did he sustain continuous beating from round 1 until he got knocked down twice? No, he didn't sustain continuous beating. That's what Anthony Joshua does to you. Anthony Joshua will not knock you out in round 1 or 2. He will break you down. He would have eaten some punches before he would get knocked down. When you watch that fight against Deontay Wilder didn't really punish. He didn't punish him at all. Are you kidding me? That first fight, he did not punish him. He didn't even touch him. He really didn't touch him at all. He didn't touch Tyson Fury until he knocked him down the first time and knocked him down. So Tyson Fury still had his grit. He still had his strength. He was still able to take it. But Anthony Joshua is gonna jab, left hook. He's gonna throw some uppercuts. He would have been breaking him down gradually. So by the time he gets to like the 6, 7, 8 rounds and he knocks him down, Fury would have eaten loads of blows already, and Joshua will come in there for the kill. The only way for me, okay, I'm not saying I know for sure, I'm just saying in my own view, in my opinion, the best way Fury wins this match is to have a total boxing match. And even that is not guaranteed because Anthony Joshua's boxing skills is really underrated. So I'm not even sure if Tyson Fury decides, like, you know what, I'm just going to go in there, jab, use the ring to my advantage. I won't stay close to this guy. I won't even stay in mid-range because this guy is very good, mid-range and up close and all of that. So I'm just gonna go around. I'm gonna jab. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna get a point. I'm gonna get points decision. I don't even think that is guaranteed, but that is a more, how can I put it now? That is that would be a better way for him to approach that fight. But it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that that's gonna work. But bro, write it down today. Tyson Fury is not gonna take that fight to Anthony Joshua the way he did against Wilder. He won't do it. He will not do it. Look at Wilder. All respect and all kudos to Wilder. He's a great fighter. He was a great champion and all of that. But Wilder, come on, man. He is a very, very limited boxer. Very limited. Even sometimes I feel for Wilder. I'm telling you, if Wilder could look at the fight against Ortiz, the second fight, he was waiting to land the perfect punch. He was 7 rounds. He got beaten by a man who is like, what? That man is old. Let's be real. But obviously, that punch came through for him. Just imagine that punch didn't come through for Wilder against Ortiz part 2. He would have been beaten, bro. He would have been beaten. So Wilder is very limited. Put Tyson Fury in there with somebody. Okay, let me use this as an example. Tyson Fury was in there with Otto Wallin. Somebody who's got, okay skills, not a power puncher. But look at what he did to him. Just look at what Otto Wallin did to him. Otto Wallin is not known to be a power puncher. He's not known to be but he's got skills. He's got decent skills. So now, think about Anthony Joshua in there with Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua is not just going to be relying on one punch. Anthony Joshua is going to break him down gradually. And then if he knocks him down, he's going to finish him. Trust me.
Thanks, brother. Hey, boy, you don't break everything that small. Anyway, we'll see react to this one, sure. But anyway, talking about the possibility of Joshua, linking up with Floyd Mayweather. Joshua is hoping to Floyd Mayweather coming to his camp and kind of take over in a way, or had some knowledge, to his game. He's open to working with Vladimir Klitschko, the great, and Floyd Mayweather. We've heard that Rob McCracken might not be on Joshua's corner because he's got to attend the Olympics in July, starting from 23 of July in Tokyo. So, what do you make of the possibility of Joshua linking up or having Floyd Mayweather as his trainer? And I would love to hear your take on that, bro.
If you remember very clearly, we had this conversation on your podcast, I think 2 weeks ago or last week. And my view is that, you see, obviously, before, if it actually happens that McCracken will have to go to the Olympics, now you need to realize that they will have a strategy in place. Okay, they would have had their camp, they would have put all their strategies in place, and if Floyd Mayweather is going to be part of that team going into this fight, he will need to be in that camp. However that camp lasts for 3 months, 2 months, whatever, he needs to be in there because he will need to understand what the strategy going into that fight is going to be. And for me, I think that if Floyd Mayweather can let go of his ego, Mayweather likes to be the center of attention at all times. He likes to be the one everyone is talking about. I think if Floyd will be able to realize that, listen, this is not about me. This is not about me, Floyd. This is about Anthony Joshua. I'm here to try to help Anthony Joshua to become undisputed heavyweight champion. So if Floyd can understand that and can have some humility, I think that would really work as an advantage to Anthony Joshua. It would be of advantage to him because although to me Floyd is not a proven trainer yet, but from what I'm looking at, I'm having a feeling that the guy will be able to teach Anthony Joshua some good stuff. Someone in the chat said that, let me look at that comment. He said, he's going to outpoint and outbox Joshua. So he's talking about Fury. So for me, that is a good point. I think his name is Lance Wood in the chat. He said that is a very good point. So if someone like Floyd Mayweather can actually come into the camp as well, he will teach Joshua, certain things that Joshua has not been using, certain elements, like the pull counter, and just to be a bit more defensively minded, and how to dodge punches and how to dodge jabs and how to return. Joshua is already a really good fighter. So Mayweather will be able to add some more stuff to his repertoire of skills. I don't see that as a disadvantage. I see that as something that can actually work if the team can all work together. If Mayweather is not going to come in there thinking he's the boss, thinking I'm TB, the best ever, and all of these things, he would need to understand that, Joshua has a winning formula, and I'm only coming in here to add to the winning formula. I'm not coming in here to take over. I'm not coming in here to change his strategy. I'm not coming in here to change anything. I'm only coming in to add to it. Of course, that will work, man. That will work. If they can work that way, that would definitely work. It wouldn't necessarily need McCracken there on the night, because Joshua will have other familiar faces, Fernandez and all the other trainers that has been working with him, So I believe that will work. I believe that will work, But trust me, no matter what happens, McCracken is going to be there that night. Trust me. No matter what happens, he will be there, because the Olympic team has got other boxing trainers as well. He's the head coach. He's not the only coach. So I don't think that he's going to skip the most important fight of Joshua's career for the Olympics. So he's going to be there that night and maybe on a private jet immediately fly back to Japan after the fight.
How about Vladimir Klitschko?
I don't know. I've not really seen what Klitschko has done, but of course, Klitschko is a veteran. Klitschko is, he was a great fighter, and I still believe Klitschko beats a lot of the heavyweights there right now. He beats a lot of them in the top 10. He beats them. So, definitely, Klitschko will be able to add something. He'll be able to teach him one or two things, and I believe anyway that Joshua, since his fight against Klitschko, he's been taking advice from Klitschko. Trust me, he actually said it himself. He said these are the people he calls. So Klitschko has always been there. Maybe not fully there, but he's always been there. So he's not going to be new to Anthony Joshua. I even think the reason why the name Klitschko came up is because Klitschko has always been there anyway. You visit him in camp and all these kind of things, and maybe show him one or two things. So, I think, but what I wouldn't want though is to have too many captains, because if you have Klitschko, if you have Mayweather, you have Angel Fernandez, you have all these guys, it might be a bit too much. But if it's a situation where Klitschko comes in maybe for 1 week, just show Joshua one or two things, and then Klitschko goes back to Germany, fine. Or even with Mayweather, if it's just a question of Mayweather coming there for about a month, show Joshua a few things and fly back to the US, that is still going to work.
Bro,
so I wouldn't just...
Mayweather can become a Joshua trainer for this fight if McGregor is not available.
If that is the case, I'm still okay.
And he has the potential. And listen, man, the guy remains. Listen, I might not fancy the guy in a way. In terms of like him as a person, okay? Because of course his personal life has nothing to do with his boxing skills.
Of course, yeah.
When it comes to boxing, I don't know any boxer that can say when it comes to boxing and being defensive. When we talk about the defensive aspect of boxing, I don't know any boxer dead or alive that can say, "Oh, I'm better than Floyd Mayweather." Because for you to say that, you have to have a track record. Floyd Mayweather's track record, as a boxer proves that he's the best defensive boxer ever.
Absolutely.
Okay? Best defensive boxer ever. I don't know how he does it, but he does it well. So if Joshua can as well, listen, do you know that Mayweather does pad work sessions? He has sometimes he does pad work sessions with David Haney and Gervonta Davis. He's not their trainer, but sometimes he just do that.
Yeah.
So what is wrong about that? I mean,
no. You see, Ray, for me, there is nothing wrong in that. Honestly, there's nothing wrong. And I also think, like I said before, I think for me, as long as Mayweather can realize or is able to realize that this is not about me, because Mayweather is a man who's got serious ego. But in saying that as well, that might even work as an advantage to Anthony Joshua to instill, when you have someone in your corner who has never lost a fight, 50 professional fights, and is won them all, the richest boxer in the history of boxing, and that guy is your friend right in your corner, I think that psychologically as well, besides the boxing, psychologically, that might be a big boost for Anthony Joshua. Psychologically, because you also obviously this, that psychology is a very important aspect of boxing, absolutely massive in boxing. So that might work to Joshua's advantage, that might work in his favor. So for me, having Mayweather in there, as long as everybody can understand what their roles are and no egos, everybody work, they work as a team, I think that of course Mayweather might be able to do it. And another thing I want you to realize as well is that Mayweather has got a good DNA in terms of like his dad, a good trainer, his brother, a good trainer. He's got people in the family who are really good trainers. So for me, I think that he's got that DNA of a trainer in him as well, besides being a fighter. Although Mayweather is not proven to have trained anyone that I know of that has won any title or anything like that. But Joshua is not a novice. Joshua is not trying to develop skills. Joshua is trying to improve his skills. I think that is the difference here. So someone like Mayweather might be able to do something as long as he can let go of his personal ego. Because for me, that has always been the concern with Mayweather. He has a serious, his ego is beyond explanation. So if he can put that aside, I think that might be able to work. That might work.
Yes, but I understand. But you have to understand why he has a big ego, because like he's done it. He's done it all. He's been there, done that, and people, like, bro. I mean, if I were to be in Mayweather's shoes, I mean, I will be very proud of myself. Of course, you still be humble in a way, but proud of yourself because the money is made, the fights is been in, it's crazy. Anyway, it is what it is, guys.
I mean, you can have your ego, that's fine. But I'm talking as regards this camp. You get what I'm saying? You just like make a talk broken now, right? I hope people in the chat will understand. It's just like having Davido, who is a big artist in Nigeria and even all around the world. Say Davido go another person concert, but he's not the main artist. He's just there to support that person. But then he now tries to get on stage and take over the shine of that person. That is not going to work. So that's what I'm saying. We already know that you are a star. We already know that you are probably the best ever after Muhammad Ali. We already know that you are the best defensive-minded fighter in the history of boxing. No one can dispute that. We already know that. So as long as he knows that in this camp, the star is Anthony Joshua. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? As long as he's able to work with that in this camp is about Anthony Joshua and not about
Bro,
him.
of course it's about Anthony Joshua, but you understand when Mayweather, Joshua respect Mayweather a lot. He see him as an idol, bro. Like
Yeah.
So-
but in that camp, Joshua should be he should. My own thing is just that if that is going to happen, you all need to have humility. You all need to work together as a team. You all need to let go of your egos and get the best for your fighter. Simple as that.
Yes, brother, and it's what it is. So, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the channel and staying with us. May God bless you all, and we're gonna be back. Expect more bangers on the way. Yes, Boxing Block Center, the home of Nigerian and African boxing. God bless you guys. Cheers.